Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We're continuing our budget goblin series, and we're looking at combat damage. Alright, our last one's on direct damage, and now it's combat damage. Because they are very different, I feel like they needed kind of a video apiece. Alright, and so what about goblins? Main color is red. I kind of look at them as like the exemplars of red almost, like green has elves, black has rats, and then red has goblins. I'm actually trying to figure out what the other two colors are. If you have any input, maybe soldiers for white and wizards for blue, I think? Or is that, am I off point? Maybe birds for blue? I don't know. Okay, anyway. Main strategies are token, damage, and sacrifice. I feel like token is one that comes up on most of them. Elves definitely have a lot of token, rats have a lot of token, but anyway. Yeah. Damage, we got kind of two tracks here, where it's the combat damage and the direct damage. And sacrifice, of course, which is a good one, but we already covered that actually. Okay, so when I say budget, I mean $2 or less, and I'm using the TCG market value. They are not a sponsor. Yeah, no, they're not. Maybe someday. I don't know. Okay. I'm not sure how to say it. Caterwalling Bogart? Anyway, each goblin you control can't be blocked except by two or more creatures, and elementals you control can't be blocked except by two or more creatures. This is Menace, right? We recognize this as Menace now. This card came out before that was a keyword. That can be very useful if someone has something that counters Menace somehow, and it actually specifies Menace. It does not work on this. Okay, any anti-Menace things? This ignores it. Just same with life gain. If something says you gain life, or when this creature does damage, you gain life equal to that damage. It's the same thing as life gain, but it doesn't have the actual life gain keyword. So anything that works against that keyword does not work on that. So this is something that I think is kind of sneaky useful in that way. 30 cents for that one. Gorbog of Minas Morgul. Whenever a goblin or orc you control deals deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. When you do, choose one, draw a card, or create a treasure token. Alright, so two very big limitations on this one. Goblin or orc. Alright, so very limited in that. So if you're doing like goblin kindred or orc kindred or some kind of mix, or you're doing that like a mass army, orc army thing, that can be good, but you do also have to sacrifice it. Here's the second downside. That's a lot of goblins do give you bonuses for sacrificing, so that can kind of be a synergy there. But anyway, 17 cents. Granzo Havoc Razor. This is very similar to the last one, but I think an upgrade in two ways. Anyway, whenever a creature you control deals damage or combat damage, I have to stop just saying damage. Combat damage to a player, choose one. Go target creature that player controls. Okay. Exile the top card of that player's library. Until the end of turn, you may cast that card. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. Okay, here's where it's actually pretty good, right? First up, why is it better? It's not limited to orcs and goblins. Second, you don't have to sacrifice anything to use this ability. That is a really good combination. This card can really go in just about any deck where you're doing combat damage, which I think is almost any deck, especially if you have red. I feel like this is almost like you should be including this. Being able to steal things from opponents is just a real kick in the teeth. I think it's, some people don't appreciate that, but it is a lot of fun, I think. Anyway, That is 33 cents. Aki Battle Squad. Alright, so this one I think is interesting, partly because the price has dropped way down on it. This was like a $5 card, even going back 2 or 3 months, I think it was $5. Whenever I say something like that, I always doubt myself, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Whenever one or more modified creatures you control attack. Again, they only have to attack, they don't have to do damage, alright? Untap all modified creatures you control. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. This triggers only once each turn. Making extra combat phases is incredibly powerful, right? That's just amazing. This has synergy with, well, modified. Let's start there. Modified means it has equipment, it has some kind of counter on it, or what's the other thing? Aura, right, an aura. Equipment, aura, or a counter on it. So this fits into just like so many decks, and automatically untapping everything for you and then giving you another combat. Just a very, very powerful ability. Really much more than 75 cents worth of ability there. And one last thing I want to point out is that this does not have to be This does not have to be equipped or modified in any way for this ability to work. This ability works even if it's just sitting on the battlefield, right? You don't really have to do any extra setup. If you've got an equipment deck, get this card. I'm actually ordering this for my equipment deck right now. Anyway, as I said, that is 75 cents. Just a crazy, crazy powerful 75 cents right there. Especially, you got any kind of modified deck. With red, I always think equipment, like Boros equipment maybe, but yeah. Could be something else as well. Maybe a Gruul counter deck, something like that. But anywho. Our number 1 is Ankle Shanker. This is a hard number 1 because the Aki Battle Squad is so good. But this is probably the most Mardu card as well. Whenever Ankle Shanker attacks creatures you control, all creatures, right? All creatures gain First Strike and Death Touch. That's such a crazy powerful combination of abilities. I think it is the number 1 powerful. Maybe Trample and Death Touch, but First Strike, Death Touch, it's doing damage first. So if they block, their blocker is dead before it's able to do damage to your creature. This gives all of your creatures, like, basically just destroy all blockers, right? That's what it means. Even if they also have First Strike, they can kill your thing, but they're gonna die too, right? They do damage at the same time. They need, like, Indestructible is what the only thing that can, like, stand up against this. So yeah, just especially the combination there is just brutal. Anyway, 34 cents for Ankle Shanker. I just put this in my Mardu deck. I don't know why it took me so long to do it, but I did. Last Sunday, actually, I did it. But anyway. Oh, please hit like and subscribe. It really does help a lot. And the list. All right. Caterwauling Boggart. Even for wizards, that's a weird name. 30 cents. Gorbag of Mias Morgul, 17 cents. Granzo Havoc Razor, 33 cents. I think that those two, almost like Gorbag is good, but a much more niche version of Granzo, I think. So it's like, which one is better? It depends on the deck. Aki Battle Squad, 75 cents. Extra combat step. Oh. So powerful. If you've got an equipment deck with red, just order it right now. Ankle Shanker. I just love, even the art is fantastic. But anyway, 34 cents. Really, he does what Mario does best, just being aggressive and like killing things. Okay, anywho. Thank you so much and take it easy.